Now, you see, what should have been a victory lap for the Nigerian creative industry is rapidly transforming into a high-stake legal battleground. After decades of anticipation, the federal government release of 1.2 billion naira in private copy levy fund was meant to provide a much-needed lifeline to the musicians struggling in a digital-first world. However, the decision to channel these funds exclusively through the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria has hit a discordant note, turning a moment of celebration into a brewing industry-wide controversy. The tension has split the industry into two fierce camps. On one side, the record label proprietors initiative RELP, representing heavyweights like Mervyn Record, Chocolate City, and Davido Music Worldwide, has raised a red flag. They argue that MCSN lacks the mandate to manage sound recordings, which are owned by labels, and accuse the Nigerian Copyright Commission of ignoring opt-out provision in the Copyright Act of 2022. Now, as the revolt of the labels intensifies and the call for an immediate halt to the disbursement, the future of Nigerian royalty hangs in the balance. To clear the air over the weekend, I had a quick interview with Mayo Ayilaron, the CEO of MCSN, to address these concerns and explain how the society intends to navigate this storm, especially the choice of working directly with the Performing Musicians Employers of Nigeria, PMAN, and not the other bodies that are now raising concerns.
The music industry before now has been fragmented, and that has been a drawback on the industry. That has been the reason why the industry is not as robust as it should be. It should be one of the strongest economic sector in this country, but because of fragmentation, infighting, and so on and so forth. But when we started our romance with PMAN way back in 2018, we started looking at how do we solve the in-house struggle within PMAN. We invited the main faction, faction that we knew then. We invited them to this office to resolve their matter amicably. We nearly gotten them to sign papers and agree, only for one of the parties to say, hey, they are not cooperating again, they are not settling again, they must finish what they have in court. Then we advised, I told them that if you remain in court, you'll be there for decades. Because if you win at the court of first instance, the person you defeated may not agree. He will appeal. And when you lose or win at the court of appeal, the losing party will also go to Supreme Court. So go and bank minimum of 10 years. But they refused. Okay. Then we now took a decision that whoever wins from the court is the one that we are going to recognize as PMAN. So to us, there is no division. We only have one PMAN that is duly recognized by the government through the judicial system. It's not through anybody issuing statement or writing letters. So we now signed, when the judgment came, the first judgment that came, we signed with the sitting president then, or sitting leadership then. That's in 2020. Yes, in 2020. We signed with the leadership then. That's pretty, yes, together with the secretary, I think, Aita. Then the Sonny Neji was also on that board. In fact, it was them that even, yes, they recommended and appointed or nominated people to MCSN board. Two of them, based on the agreements. And we had a good relationship. And since then, nobody has brought a superior judgment to MCSN. And PMAN has been, cooperating and working successfully, working for the success of the agreement. That is the MOU. So, like us too, we will also support PMAN in relation to this kind of development. It is not that, oh, it is when this money issue came out that PMAN is talking in favor of everything. No, we have been working together for a very long time. And that is why the copyright CMO, I mean the CMO in the music industry, that is MCSN, is emerging very strong and being able to tackle issues very well because there are no divergent opinions. All you need to do is you must have original work of your own that is being exploited out there, that is capable of being copied, of being played. So if you are just a musician or you call yourself a musician who sings other people's music and you don't have a record of your performances that people can even watch on videos or TV, you may not qualify. But if a music can be traced to you or if a performance can be traced to you, then you are qualified. So it is your work that actually qualifies you because it is to compensate for the reproduction, for the copying of your work, which may not have been captured in the normal copyright administrative system. For example, we go out to license public places, hotels, bars, lounges, broadcasting, and so on. But we are not licensing private homes. And a lot of copying are going on in the house. Me and you can be sharing music of Davido, music of other people that are not caught in the normal copyright system. So this scheme is meant to compensate such exploitation. So definitely everybody will benefit at the end of the day. No, it's not going to be a flat rate. You know, as a CMO, as a collective management organization, a copyright system, we have a database with which we collect data of the individual, data of their works. The titles of their works and everything are in our database. For those who are already in, we will know because somebody who has composed hundreds titles of songs and who have released 10, 20, 40, 50 albums will not get the same amount as somebody who has just released a single. So that's how it goes. And for those who are not yet in the net, it is the time for them to come in. So if you are sitting on the fence, well, you may not be able to partake. But the window is always open to come down from the fence, come in, give details of your works. Then we will be able to also verify and see that actually those work exists. Because it is easy for people to claim that, oh, I am a musician, I have been playing since 20 nothing. But where is the evidence? We will need to verify. Thank God, yeah, the kind of technology that exists nowadays. Even if your work has been there in the 1800s, there are technology that can still trace and bring them out. So we borrow or we adapt from these technologies to be able to really document the works that are capable of being copied to benefit from this kind of levy.